Hey guys, it's Baoshan. I promised someone that I was going to do a virus test update on the 5 orchids that I sent in to a lab. I sent in 5 samples from 5 different orchids to a lab in Lincoln, California called, I believe, Critter Creek Lab. Say that 5 times really fast. So I got the results back pretty quickly, and they promised that they were going to do it within a week, and my experience with them has been really good so far. They're very nice, they're quick to respond to emails. This is the first one that I sent in. This is my Dendrobium tanni alba, and the reason why I sent this one in is because of these leaves. So it's not just one leaf, but the newer leaves are actually showing signs of these weird spotting as well. They're not lighter spots, they're actually darker spots. So this one is an old one. It's an old leaf, and you can see it's all over this plant. This one is actually a newer leaf, and you can see it's already starting to get those spots. This one is actually growing pretty well, but it's not getting any more pseudobulbs. It's just growing upwards. And of course the wind completely knocked it out of its pot, so I will have to repot this guy. Overall, it's doing well. It's growing okay. It's just not making new pseudobulbs, but you can see that it is growing taller. The newer leaves don't have it yet, but eventually they do develop that spotted leaves. So I actually tested all 5 of my orchids for the Odontoglossum ring spot virus and the Cymbidium mosaic virus. This one I tested for both, and the results are negative for both of them. I feel like I'm on the Maury show where they had to do DNA testing on who's the father, and then he goes, "You are not the father. Well, you are not infected with a virus." So yay on this one. It's just funky, I guess. I actually thought that it might be the way that these leaves are, but I have seen photos of other people's plants, and they don't seem to have this. All these spots were already here when I purchased it, so I just assumed that it was okay, and now I have confirmation that it's okay. My second one that I got tested is my newer Dendrobium spectabile. I got this from the Orchid Show, and it actually developed. I cut it off already, so you can't really see it on here, but I do have a photo of it, which I'm going to show to you on the screen. It had this dark ring that was developing, and it was actually within a week that it developed. I actually suspected it to be a fungus infection. However, I wanted to be really sure, so I sent it in to get tested anyway. The other leaves are doing okay. So I will tell you what the results are. Little plant, you are not infected with viruses. Yay! Really excited, and I'm on a roll right now. Alright, so this one is my Encyclia septra. I also got it from Seattle Orchid. I didn't think it had a virus, but I wasn't too sure. And the reason why I kind of suspected was because, obviously, it's not in great shape. It was not putting out any new growth. It wasn't dying, but it wasn't doing anything either. It just sat there. So I sent a sample in, and the results are that, little guy, you are not infected with viruses. Feel like I'm Maury right now. This orchid, I'm actually not even gonna try to say the name, but you can see it on there. This one took really forever to grow, and within the last maybe 3 months it's grown that much. Pretty much my suspicion for this one is because, if I can show it to you, I cut off part of the leaf. It was really yellow, and it had all those rings around the yellow parts, and of course it could be a bacterial infection. I cut off that, but it could also be that this one requires a winter rest or a dormant phase, which I might not have given it to it because I wasn't sure of how to take care of it. Yeah, I know. So if you guys have any suggestions on how to take care of this plant, please let me know. I would love to know if it's supposed to be in a dormant winter phase or not. Obviously, I didn't let it go dormant. I just suspected it to have a virus. Better to get tested. And of course, it did not have any viruses. Ha! I've got 4 orchids so far that have no viruses, which I thought had viruses. Okay, so for my 5th one, this is an Oncidium hybrid. I honestly cannot remember what it looks like. I probably should have put a tag on it or a photo. Let's just say that it is a Noid Oncidium, and it was having issues with its new leaves. Not the old leaves. None of the old leaves have any problems, just the newer leaves, they all have problems. So I wasn't sure if it was a bacterial infection, but then all the newer leaves have it, but the older leaves, nothing. No problems whatsoever. Just the newer leaves. But it's just those blobs on the newer leaves. So that is the reason why I just kind of suspected that it had issues. Like here. This is a newer leaf right there. So all of the newer leaves have these spottings, and excuse me, just to be sure, I got it tested. And of course, you are not infected with viruses. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. So I don't know if the new leaves are just susceptible to some sort of bacterial infection or fungus infection. I'm not really sure. But then eventually what happens is they get older, and the newer leaves get older, and they don't have that anymore. So what is up with that? Overall, I had really good news. None of them had any odontoglossum or Cymbidium viruses so far. I'm really excited, and I'm glad that I have such good news because I've had a really, really horrible time at work today. It was just awful. And I mean, there were times when I just really wanted to just walk away. Do you guys ever have that feeling? So I'm glad that I got some good news today. So I wanted to just speak a little bit about the Critter Creek Lab. So they just have really good pricing. 1 to 9 samples is about $5 each, and then 10 to I believe 19 samples is only $4.50 each. I just sent in 5 because I didn't have the money to just test all my orchids, but I think eventually, like every month, I'm gonna send in about 5 samples just to get them tested, just the suspicious ones anyway. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark all the orchids that I got tested, and we will see. So I mean, sometimes they don't look suspicious, but then they turn out to be virus. And they also email samples, or they also email test results to you, so then they don't have to mail it to you, which take longer. It's pretty instant. Ooh. So overall, I would definitely recommend this lab, and I think it's just easier for me to send it to them with small batches rather than purchase the I believe the test strips online, because then I would have to shell out a whole bunch of money to purchase a bunch at the same time. This way I just send it to them in a plastic baggie, and they grind up the samples and then they test it, and I know for sure that, you know, like it's from a lab, so they have internal processes and so forth that make sure that their results are credible, at least to a certain extent. Overall, I really like using their services and I would definitely recommend it. Anyway, if you guys have any other questions, let me know. Please subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this, and I will see you next time.